Begins as a quiet filming session outside a police station quickly takes an unexpected turn. An independent auditor calmly records from what he believes is a public area, but officers soon intervene, questioning both his presence and his intentions. Neither side is prepared to give ground, and what starts as a routine conversation rapidly develops into a tense dispute over public access, legal rights, and police authority. Within moments, the atmosphere changes completely, setting the stage for a confrontation that could easily spiral further. As the conversation continues, the focus shifts from casual questions to competing interpretations of the law. The auditor explains that he is documenting matters of public interest and insists he is acting within his legal rights. Officers continue to probe his purpose while attempting to establish control of the situation. The calm exchange begins to carry an unmistakable edge, with every response adding to the growing tension. The encounter settles into a determined standoff. The auditor repeatedly maintains that filming in a public place is lawful and refuses to alter his position simply because officers object. Police continue challenging his actions and raise concerns about recording near the station. Although the discussion remains largely civil, both sides become increasingly firm, making it clear that neither intends to compromise. Attention now turns to the finer details of the law. The discussion expands beyond cameras and recording to include property boundaries, public access, and the limits of police authority. The auditor questions whether the restrictions being described have any legal foundation, while officers argue that operational rules and station security justify their position. The disagreement becomes a debate over interpretation rather than simple compliance. The pressure rises as both sides test each other's arguments. The auditor challenges suggestions of trespass and asks officers to explain exactly what legal powers they intend to rely upon. Officers remain measured but firm, warning that continued refusal to cooperate could lead to further action. The exchange grows noticeably more intense as every statement is carefully scrutinized. The confrontation reaches its most intense stage. Legal responsibility, potential arrest, and police accountability dominate the conversation as the auditor openly questions the officer's authority. Officers work to maintain control of the encounter, but interruptions and rapid exchanges make the discussion increasingly heated. What began as a routine interaction has now become a direct contest over power, procedure, and the limits of lawful authority. After the peak of the confrontation, the atmosphere begins to shift. The auditor speaks about formal complaints and possible legal action while continuing to defend his position. Officers appear more focused on bringing the situation under control than pushing it further, choosing measured responses over additional confrontation. Although the disagreement remains unresolved, the intensity gradually begins to ease. The encounter finally comes to a close without any dramatic conclusion. Officers slowly disengage while the auditor reflects on the events and the legal issues raised throughout the exchange. No arrests are made and no clear agreement is reached, leaving both sides standing by their interpretations of the law. The conversation may be over, but the debate surrounding public filming, police powers, and individual rights continues long after the cameras stop rolling.